Okay, guys, continuing with chapter 13, we are now going to move on to section 2. And section 2 deals with Eastern Africa. And one of the things that we're going to look at in Eastern Africa is the Horn of Africa as well. Alright, so let's get started with Eastern Africa. A very impressive feature in Eastern Africa is called the Great Rift Valley. It begins in the Middle East and it continues southward through East Africa. It is referred to as a gash in the earth, a big crack in the earth. That's how they're going to refer to it on your test. So it begins in the Middle East and runs southward, but it is considered to be a gash in the earth. The Great Rift Valley. Make sure you know that that is a test question. Moving on to the Eastern Africa countries and capitals. You guys have to know this for a matching portion as well. If you need to pause the video here and write these down, please do so. So let's start off with Kenya. The capital of Kenya is Nairobi. The important thing to know about Kenya is that its advanced cities make it the key to East Africa. Make sure you know that that is a test question. In general, they lack mineral resources. Because of that, they have built small industries. That's why they're advanced. They're one of the world's most popular safari destinations. The first one is a test question, and the second one is a test question. Because in general, Kenya does lack resources, mineral resources. So make sure that you know that. Next, we're going to talk about Swahili. And Swahili is not a place, but it's a language. It was developed on the east coast of Africa. Very important to know because that is a test question. Because the Africans here traded with Arab merchants and they mixed their two languages together. So you had Arabic and Bantu and created Swahili. The important thing that you have to know about Swahili is that it was developed on the east coast of Africa and it was developed long before European colonists arrived. Okay? It has become a lingua franca, meaning the language that is most spoken in Eastern Africa, and that is Swahili. Moving on to Tanzania. The capital of Tanzania is Dar es Salaam, and Tanzania is the home of Mount Kilimanjaro, which is the highest mountain in Africa. I like to tell you that because this mountain itself was featured on The Lion King. So if you saw The Lion King, Mount Kilimanjaro was in the background. For testing purposes, though, you need to know the capital and you need to know about the Serengeti. The Serengeti Plain, which is located in Tanzania, has more large land animals than any other place on Earth. So the Serengeti is what you need to know about Tanzania and the capital for testing purposes. Next is Uganda. All you have to know here is that the capital of Uganda is Kampala. Next is Rwanda. And Rwanda is the subject of the video that we're actually going to watch. The capital of Rwanda is Kigali, and it is landlocked. The thing that you need to know about Rwanda is that it is the home of one of the worst cases of genocide to happen in the world. Over 800,000 people died as a result of a civil war that took place between the Hutu and Tutsi tribes here. And if you don't know what genocide is the killing of your own people. So people killing their own people. And we're going to watch that in the video we're going to look at called Hotel Rwanda. So I'm not going to spend too much time discussing it here, but we'll talk about it in class when we watch the film. Next is Burundi. The capital is Bujumbura, and that's all you need to know here. Next, we're going to explore the countries that make up what is called the Horn of Africa. The Horn of Africa is mainly made up of the Somali Peninsula. It's on the east side of Africa, and it's called that because it resembles an animal's horn. It is home of the Danakil Desert, which is the lowest spot in Africa. Make sure that you know that because that is a test question. All right, so we're going to look at the countries in the Horn of Africa. And for the most part, for these, you just have to know the countries and the capitals, okay? So we're gonna begin with Ethiopia, which is here. The capital of Ethiopia is Addis Ababa. It is most famous for the Marusi tribe, which wear clay discs to stretch out their bottom lip. So this is their bottom lip. He can talk, he can eat, he can do everything he needs to do with that clay disc in his lips. So the Marusi tribe is a famous tribe in Ethiopia. Moving on. Next, we're going to look at Eritrea. And all you have to know about Eritrea is that the capital is Asmara. Next is Djibouti. All you have to know about Djibouti is the capital, which is Djibouti. So it has the same name. Next up is Somalia. And the capital of Somalia is Mogadishu. And finally is Sudan. Now the capital of Sudan is Khartoum. You need to know that Sudan is the largest country in Africa by area. So that is a test question. Beginning in 2003, it was also scarred by genocide. So genocide did happen in the Sudan, in the Darfur region. Also a test question. Sudan gets its name from the Sahel, a savanna which rises in the center of the country. Also a test question. And originally, the name Sudan referred to that entire area or the entire Sahel. That is also a test question. This concludes chapter 13. If you guys need to hear anything over, make sure you rewind the video. We're going to move on and take a quick pop quiz. Number 1, true or false? The lowest spot in Africa is the Dinakil Desert. Number 2, what is the common language of people on the east coast of Africa that developed long before European colonists arrived? What is that called? Number 3, what plain in Africa has more large land animals than any other place on earth? Number 4, what name is given to the gash in the earth that runs from the Middle East southward through East Africa? Number 5, beginning in 2003, what region of Sudan experienced a civil war between two Muslim ethnic groups that resulted in the deaths of more than 200,000 people? And number 6, because of its shape, what is the wide Somali peninsula that lies on the east side of Africa called? Okay, guys, that's it. Make sure you rewind if you need to rewind, and be prepared to have your notes checked and have a quiz on tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.